Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. My name is Christopher Giannini, and this is the week number 7 big game preview. I want to thank you for joining me this evening. I appreciate all of you. If you would, hit that like button. I appreciate it. Comment. Tell me about some games that you like that I don't get to. Give me your opinions on some of my thoughts. Look, I haven't been great at picking these things, but I've had a good time this year doing it. It's been an unbelievably crazy year of college football. I don't know that anybody knows how to guess any of this stuff, but let me tell you where you can get the best information. Sportsreview.com. Go there. It's your one-stop stop for all your gambling needs. If you need questions about the NFL, college football, baseball, got the playoffs going, NBA getting started, fired up, hockey getting started, got some soccer stuff, had a fight last week. Just anything you need gambling information, go there. They can take care of you. We're going to get to these games right here. This has been a wild season. I've loved so much about it. My team is in the cellar. I'm still having fun. In previous years, it would devastate me. I think doing this show helps. I do think it's a level of therapy, so I appreciate you guys putting up with it and being a part of it. We're going to start off where game day is going this week. Biggest game of the weekend. We got two big-time opponents, two undefeated teams. I think it's the only matchup between undefeateds going on this week, probably left in the country. Not a lot of undefeateds left. Not a lot that are going to play one another, I guess, even on a schedule if they remain undefeated. Anyway, that was a moronic way of saying we got Kentucky, we got Georgia. Going to be in Athens. Going to be a beautiful, beautiful game between the hedges. This game is really interesting to me. Will Levis has been unbelievable, okay? Transfer into Kentucky, picked up the offense, was a massive upgrade. He's the best quarterback Kentucky has seen in like 20 years, and he's just unlocked this offense. Now, don't get me wrong. They're not an unbelievable offense. This is not a top 10, top 20 offense, okay? But he does just enough to get first downs, to hold the ball, and not turn it over. He's not making mistakes. It's a big deal. He relies on the running game. This is one of the best running back duos, one of the best backfields you're going to find in the country. They're unbelievable. Now, all of those positive things. Now, they play great defense as well. They're a very complete team in Kentucky. All of those things being said, great accolades, and they've earned it. They've absolutely earned their status in college football right now. They're going up against a different beast, okay? This is just a different team in Georgia. Haven't seen a defense like this in a long, long time, and maybe ever. They are, I've used the phrase attacking. I've used the analogies of suffocating. I don't know what else to say other than they're going to destroy your game plan. Everything you want to do, they're just going to take it away, all right? And if you get to double digits on them, if you get 10, you better hang it on the wall, okay? Because that's an accomplishment, because people just aren't doing it, all right? I think now, in Georgia's offense has been good. They've been really good. They don't have to be a top 5, top 10 offense in the country for the simple fact that their defense just keeps them in games and that put them in optimal situations. We get to the equalizer of this. This is a 22.5 point spread, guys. The total is 44.5. I'm going to make a pick on this game. I like Kentucky plus the 22.5 because I think we're under 44. There's a world where 17-7 wins this game, okay? Love the under. Love it with all I got. I think Kentucky is going to play better defense against this Georgia team than Georgia's faced all year, even maybe against Clemson. Maybe not, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot like that game, guys. Which tells me I don't think there's any world where Georgia's going to run up the score because I don't know that they're going to be able to. All right, Kentucky absolutely not going to run up the score because they're not going to be able to, and nobody's thinking they will. I don't know that 22.5. I don't know that 23 points are going to be scored in the game total. That's where I'm at. I think I would take the points. I would take Kentucky. I would take the Wildcats. I like Levis to get something done offensively. They're going to have to score something probably. And Stetson Bennett, what he's been doing with this offense, pretty great. Like, I don't know when a team is as good as Georgia's been, what do you come on here and say? I mean, you just give stats galore, but none of the stats matter. They're killing everybody, okay? Just know that they're better than everybody they're going to play the rest of the year. And it doesn't matter who they play. For them to lose it, now, does that mean they're unbeatable? No. For them to lose a game, they got to play unlike they've played so far. They've got to, on the offensive side, turn the ball over, which they haven't done. They've got to commit penalties, which they really haven't done. And on the defensive side, I think they have to get caught, okay? A couple of teams have scored some points on them. They've got to get caught in some big plays where a guy just misses an assignment, all right? That's going to happen at some point in time in games. Now, it's happened in games where you've only given up 10 points, Like, it's not happening in games where it's a 14-17 game and then you give up a big play and now it's 21-17 and you're behind. They haven't trailed. I don't know that they trail in this game. I'm just telling you, let's be cautious about just betting them every week. I'm looking at these numbers. They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I just don't know that the books know what to do. Moving on. Team Georgia played last week. Auburn, thinks a pretty good football team. Going to Fayetteville to play Arkansas. It's an interesting matchup. I think both these teams are very, very similar. All right? I think they want to run the football. I think they want to play this game from the line of scrimmage, from the offensive line. They want to lean on their running backs. They want to lean on their mobile quarterbacks. They want to make big plays in the passing game, but they don't want to throw the ball a lot. And they want to depend on a defense that's been pretty good all year. Now, Ole Miss makes everybody's defense look bad. Okay? Let's understand that that's an enigma. I think Arkansas's defense will play much better. I think this is going to be an incredibly close football game. I think it is going to be back and forth. I honestly believe this is going to be a coin flip game. If you told me, Chris, who do you think wins this game? I'd say Arkansas, which means I'd have to bet Arkansas because the line only 3.5. Total, 53.5. I got no feeling on the total. I'm staying as far away from that as possible. Both these teams might put some points up. Both of them might play shutdown defense against one another. I don't know. I'll tell you what I do think. Normally, if I don't think a team's going to win the game, even at a dog, unless it's a big number like we just talked about with Kentucky, I can't bet the dog. This is an interesting situation where I think Kentucky's going to win this game. It wouldn't surprise me if Arkansas won it, and I think no matter who wins it, I think we're kicking a field goal to win this thing. I think this is going to be a very close, really tight football game. I like getting the hook. I'm going to take Auburn plus the points. Makes me feel really uncomfortable betting against Arkansas. I've done it very few times, never this year at all. I think they're a really good team. I think now the line is exactly where it's supposed to be. And so I'm taking the team that I think they got a puncher's chance of winning this thing. So I get to start with a head start, and I get more than the hook because I think it's going to be a field goal game. Now we're going to stay in the SEC one more time. One more time. We're going to the most exciting game of the weekend. Well, I hope it is, at least. Let's say that. It has potential to be a dud. Now, right now, the boys at Old Rocky Top are putting on a show. Last two games, they have hung points up in bunches. They get to stay at home against 100,000 screaming fans wearing orange. The Volunteer Navy is going to be out in full effect. They're going to be welcoming in the Rebels from Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, this got to be the best offense in the country. Okay, I don't know what your analytics say. I don't know what your algorithms say. I don't know what all the numbers say. I don't care. I've watched with my eyes a lot of teams play football this year. None of them have an offense as good as Ole Miss. None of them. All right. Now, with that being said, neither one of these teams play a lick of defense. Okay, let's give you the line here. Ole Miss laying 3 points going to Tennessee. That's a pretty good number. I actually don't think it's enough. I will like Ole Miss. I'll give you that now. No need in holding that back. I was already excited about playing the over. It opened at 79.5. Today I'm doing this show. It's Tuesday night late. You're going to get it Wednesday. It is up to 82. It will not surprise me if we get to 85. I don't think any of those numbers are big enough. Ole Miss, Arkansas busted 100 last week. I don't know that we bust 100, but I think we get into the 90s. I think this is going to be a scoring affair. You have two offensive football coaches that don't care about the defensive side of the ball. They know if they keep scoring, they put pressure on the other team to keep scoring. We're not going to have a lot of punts. We're not going to have a lot of field goals. I think we're going for it on fourth down. You are talking about everything you want if you want a game to be exciting. If you want the crowd to roar, if you want big plays, you're going to get it in this game. It's going to be unbelievable. I like Ole Miss. I think they've been doing it longer. The caliber of players are better. Now, don't get me wrong. You know how much I love Hendon Hooker. This doesn't take anything away. I think he's going to have the best statistical day he may ever have the rest of his life this week. Last week was pretty damn good. I just think I got to go with Corral. I think he's a Heisman favorite. I think he's in a spot to do something special this year. Ole Miss needs to keep winning for that to happen. Not a knock on the Vols. I love the Volunteers. This Volunteer team has got me more excited than any in a long, long time. It's just not this week. Just not this week. Put up a showing. Put up a lot of points. Make it a fun game. You're going to be on national TV. Everybody's going to be watching because it's going to be wild, and they know it. Moving on. Another game where I don't believe defense is going to be played at all as well. We're going to Oklahoma. We're going to Norman. We got TCU coming into town, and Oklahoma has not shown that they can stop anybody, okay? And this TCU defense has not shown that they can stop anybody. That's really weird, okay? That's really strange, unheard of for Gary Patterson. It's not unheard of. He's had bad defenses in the past, but it's just not normal, all right? Gary Patterson teams are usually a good defensive-minded teams. This one's not. The secondary is trash. They can't stop the run. Not a lot of punting's going to happen here. This line opened up much bigger than I thought. This line is 13.5 as of right now. The total is 65. I got to give you a pick on the side. I am going to tell you I will have money on the over on this one as well. 65 points, not a lot of points. This thing is hitting the 70s. It might hit the 80s. These teams are scoring a lot. Nobody is stopping one another. Because I think it's going to be back and forth and because I think it's going to be a close game, there's no way on earth I would be willing to lay almost two touchdowns, basically. 13.5 points. I don't think it's going to be a 14-point game. I think we're looking at a 7 to 10-point game maybe. It could be closer than that. So give me TCU. Give me the Horned Frogs catching 13.5 points. Way too many points in my opinion. Last big game I got is an interesting one. I think we've got a little bit of a bounce back game, all right? So the last time we saw both of these football teams, they both lost, okay? You got the Baylor Bears. I'm going to try to pull up something. You've got the Baylor Bears and you've got BYU. BYU has looked absolutely awful. I'm trying to do this while also going through the game. BYU looked awful last weekend, okay? It's the most non-BYU looking game that we've seen all year, okay? I said it in the preview last week when I picked them, all right, when I liked BYU to win that game and to cover that game against Boise. And I've said it every week I've picked them. I said they don't turn the ball over and they don't commit penalties. It's a team that they don't beat themselves. And they're good enough to where if they don't beat themselves, a team like Boise State shouldn't have come in and beat them. Well, what'd they do? Well, they turned the ball over 4 times. All right, that's a lot. That's 4 more than they have in any other game. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm sure they have another turnover. Anyway, they turned the ball over 4 times. That's not good. And they had 75 yards in penalties. They gave up an entire field of penalties. If you get the ball as a touchback, that's a touchdown. They gave you 7 points in penalties. All right, this is not okay. I have to think that's an enigma. I have to think that is an outlier game. I have to think that they are going to get those things fixed and corrected this week. They better, because Baylor is a tough football team. Baylor coming off of a whooping of West Virginia. beat them up pretty good. I kind of thought that was going to be a close game. Whoa, was I wrong. This Baylor team's pretty good. They've lost one game, all right? One game. It was at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State still undefeated. Good football team. Real good football team. We got to be – I think this is going to be a prove-it game. We're going to see who BYU is. We're going to see who Baylor is, all right? I think both these teams are really good. I don't think this defines either one of them, but I think whoever comes out on top, it will give me a little bit more credence as to who they are. I like BYU plus the 6. I think it's too many points because I think we're going to get a low-scoring game. That doesn't mean I don't think Baylor won't win the game. I think BYU can win the game. I just think BYU's not going to make the mistakes they made last week. So I'm throwing last week's game away, not because I lost the pick, but because they did the thing that they haven't done all year. Now, if they come into this game, they turn the ball over 2-3 times, and they commit 50 to 70 yards worth of penalties, then I'm wrong. This team has floundered, and they have turned some type of weird corner, but I think they're coached up well enough. They're going to get those things coached out of them. I would take the points. I would take BYU. I like Baylor a lot this year. I'm just going that direction for this game in this moment. That total is 50.5. I don't really have a lot of an opinion on that, mainly because I'm afraid. I think both these teams play really good defense, but I've also seen both these teams put up points. Will they put up points against one another, or will both these defenses shine? And will they do something special again? I'm staying away from that. I like the points. I don't love the points. I got to pick it. It's one of the big games. Give me BYU. Give me the Cougars. We're going to move into the rapid fire now. And I haven't been rapid firing. I've basically been doing the exact same thing I do for the big game shows. I'm not going to do that today. Today, I'm going to cook. Not because we're in a hurry. Not because I don't love you and want to hang out with you more. But because we just need to burn through them. Okay? Clemson coming off a bye week. Going to Syracuse. Friday night football game. I think this is going to be a rocking atmosphere in the Carrier Dome. That place gets loud. That place gets crazy. I am very curious to see, can Clemson fix their offensive woes in this game? Can Syracuse do anything offensively to move the ball and score on this defensive team for Clemson? They're going to have the home field. They're going to have everything going their way. I got Clemson minus 14. The total is 45. I would go under. I like Syracuse. That would be my play in that game. Moving on. Cal, Oregon. Oregon laying 13.5 points. This is another Friday game. It's a late Friday night game. We get a little Pac-12 after dark Friday night. 53.5 is the total. Cal, before going into 2 weeks ago, before their bye week, had been putting up points, which is something Cal's never done. They've been a defensive team that doesn't score a lot. Then they got the hell beat out of them by Washington State. They've had the week off to get healthy, to get right, to get ready. I'm assuming everybody's coming back. I like Cal. I like the plus 13.5. Oregon just doesn't look great. I think Oregon has basically said we're going to play everybody to a touchdown game. So anytime they're bigger than a touchdown favorite, you just fade them because they haven't covered – I don't know that they've covered a double-digit line all year. And they just play everybody close. And it's kind of crazy and it's kind of wild. It always makes for entertaining games. It makes them exciting, but they play up to competition. They play down to competition. And so give me the Bears and give me Cal. UCF going to Cincinnati. Now, UCF had the week off. They had 2 weeks to prepare for the Cincinnati football team, who is one of the best teams in the country, guys. Desmond Ridder, absolute stud. He is my second place right now in my Heisman voting. If I had to pick a Heisman right now, he would be right under Matt Corral. Cincinnati looks like one of the most complete teams in football, okay? Their defense isn't close to Georgia. All right, I don't know that it's as good as Iowa, but it's just under those guys. Okay, they're in that conversation. Their offense isn't Ole Miss good, but they're really good. They're efficient. They don't turn the ball over. They don't beat themselves. They play consistent. They always put pressure on the other team. The problem is 20.5 points. Good God almighty, that's a lot. That's too many points for me. I think Gus Malzahn, with 2 weeks to prepare, is going to find a way to put up a good showing in this game. And at some point in time, Cincinnati's going to say, all right, we just want to get out with a win. We just want to get out of here with a W. We don't care. We want to put style points up when we can, but right now, let's just get away with the win and let's not do anything crazy. I think 20.5 is too many. Give me the Knights. Moving on, Iowa State, Kansas State. This is another one of those mirror games. I think these teams look a lot alike. Iowa State, obviously, I think is a little bit better at everything they do than Kansas, okay? Kansas State. I apologize. The problem is Iowa State's laying 6.5. I don't know that little bit better at everything equates to a touchdown better when we play this thing out, especially we're going to Manhattan. We're going to be at Kansas State. I think I'm going to take Kansas State. I think I'm going to take the points. I think it's too much. 51 is the total. I don't have a feeling on the total. I'm not playing with it. I'm not doing anything with it. I like what Iowa State's been doing. They're a great story. They're not what everybody wanted them to be. They were supposed to be this top 5, top 10 team that could compete and possibly make the playoffs, possibly win the Big 12 this year. I don't think they're that. All right? They would need a lot of help. They need a little bit of chaos to go their way to make that Big 12 championship. I just think Kansas State's too good of a football team, and I think we're going to play this game close. I think this is going to be a field goal game. We're gonna have a tight one in Manhattan. Next game up, Purdue going to Iowa. Iowa is absolutely the talk of the town in the Big Ten right now. Winning the big game against Penn State was unbelievable. Kinnick was rocking. It was a scene like I'd never seen. And I kind of came into this week thinking, you know what, I think I'm going to think about Iowa being a letdown spot here. And the more I thought about it, I thought, no. This is a team that doesn't play with a flashy offense. They pride themselves on punting the football. No, they're not. They're not going to let Purdue come in and do anything special or crazy. Let me tell you, this is Iowa minus 11.5, total's 43. Now, I'm not touching the total because Purdue's defense isn't good. Purdue has played 3 games in a row against Big Ten opponents. We're talking about Illinois. We're talking about Minnesota, and I don't remember the third one. I probably should. 3 games in a row, Big Ten opponents, not great opponents, by the way. None of them special. I think maybe it was Wisconsin. Anyway, if I just said it wrong, then I just made myself look like a bigger moron than even forgetting it. Sorry about that. They scored 13 points in the last 3 games against teams that their defenses aren't great. Some of those defenses I don't even think are good. Like they're flat out bad. All right? You're not scoring against Iowa at all. If you can't score against Illinois, if you can't score against Minnesota, then you're not scoring against Iowa. You're just not. Okay? I was going to win this game. I was going to cover this 11. That's it. They're doing it. It's 11.5. That doesn't scare me either. I think they're beating them up. I think they're beating them bad. Last game I'm going to hit on. I was asked to hit on this game, so the only reason I'm hitting on it, or else I wouldn't speak of it at all. I'd just lock it away in a box and put it aside and never talk about it publicly whatsoever. My LSU Tigers are hosting the Florida Gators. And for the first time in my life that I can remember since being a Tiger fan, LSU is a double-digit dog at home. We are plus 10.5. Florida's laying 10.5 points coming into Baton Rouge. Now, there is a part of me that thinks, oh, that's just crazy. That's just too many points. They're going to have some pride coming back home. They've gotten their butt kicked. They lost an ugly game against Auburn. They just got their ass whipped at Kentucky. They're going to come back home. Listen, guys, I don't think we can fix this in a week. I think Dan Mullen's a good coach. I think Florida's a really, really good football team. And I don't think this problem can be solved in a week. I think it's deeper than that. I don't think the coaches are very good right now. I think the players who have a ton of talent have lost a lot of faith in what they're being asked to do. Our 2 best players on the team, Keishawn Butte and Derek Stingley Jr., have both been injured. One is out for the season. It wouldn't surprise me if we never see Stingley again. A complete and utter waste of God-given talent at what LSU has done with those boys. Okay? It's a shame, and it shouldn't have happened. I think Florida comes in. I'm not betting against my team. So let me tell you that. I've never done it. I don't believe in doing it. I don't care what the odds are, and I don't care about how much life-changing money it could take for me, okay? I don't bet against my team. I'm telling you this. Florida's going to come into Baton Rouge. What we did to them in the swamp last year, Florida's going to beat the hell out of us. It's just going to happen. They're going to cover this 11. They just are. It's 10.5 points. They're going to beat us by at least 11. I just believe that. I don't want to see it happen. I'll be really upset when it happens. I'll be probably a little intoxicated of something while it's happening, but I don't think there's anything we can do to stop it. That's the problem. I don't think we can stop it. So that's what I think of my Tigers. I was asked to give you a breakdown of that game. You got a breakdown of that game. It's sad. It's a little pathetic. That's what it is. I'm going to give you 5 winners this week, guys. I know I haven't given you 5 yet. I've only given you 3 winners 1 week. So I hadn't even been great at giving you winners at all. But we're going to give you 5 good ones right here. We're going to the Pac-12 for the first couple of ones. We're actually going to the state of Washington. Last week, one of my money line underdog winners come through for me. They're coming through for me again this week. I got Stanford going up to Wazoo, Washington State. Washington State Cougars going to win this game. They're plus 1.5 at home. Now, I've had a buddy of mine go back and forth with me saying, oh, no, Stanford's one of these yo-yo teams. Every other week, they look really good, then they look really bad, then they look really good, then they look really bad. And I say, you know what? That's fine, but at some point in time, the yo-yo stops coming up. Okay? It just stays on the ground. I've told you all year, I think they're a bad football team. I think Wazoo's got their quarterback healthy. I think he's going to play the whole game. I think he's going to hang a big number up on Stanford. Give me the Wazoo plus the 1.5. UCLA, one of the most inconsistent football teams in the country all year long. They've been like a damn roller coaster riding up and down this thing. I think this week we got an up week. They're plus 1.5 as well at the state of Washington, in the University of Washington, in the city of Seattle. Give me the Bruins. I think they're going to win that game outright as well. I got 2 dogs winning outright. Now, they're not big enough to be in my underdog special, though. So you won't hear about them later unless that line gets bigger. I don't think it's getting bigger, though, guys. Next game up. Team I hadn't talked about in a while. A couple of weeks ago, probably played them. Utah State. I love this Utah State team, okay? I love Blake Anderson. I love what they are doing there. It's not a great team, okay? This is not a great team. They're an up-and-coming team. They are much improved from the last couple of years. They are turning this ship around. They get to go to UNLV. And UNLV is a bad football team, all right? I only got to win by a touchdown. It's just a 7-point line. Give me the Utah State Aggies. I'm in there on that. I told you already in my pick'ems, or in the big game breakdown, Iowa at Purdue minus the 11. It's a lock, baby. I think Iowa's going to come out humping. I think they're going to come out fired up. They're number 2 in the country. I don't know in my lifetime that they've ever been that high ranked. And I don't know that I'll tell you this, any player on the field has never been ranked that high in his lifetime at the University of Iowa. My boy Kelvin Bell, he's one of the defensive coaches there. He beat me up in college, not literally on the football field in high school, when I practiced against him every week. And he beat the hell out of me. And he was bigger than me. He was stronger than me. He was faster than me. And he threw me around like a rag dog. And now I just look at him and I'm just so proud. Okay, I loved him then, and he loved me then too, by the way. He was always good to me. So I got a little biasy there. But Iowa winning, Iowa covering. Last game I got. I went back and forth so much on about 4 or 5 different games, and I've settled on – I got the Rattlesnake with a bye going up against a Texas team that just got shell-shocked. Okay, give me the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I think they got a shot to win this game. I think Texas might be reeling a little bit. I love Casey Thompson, but this is the best defense they've played all year except maybe Arkansas, and even Oklahoma State's defense might be better than Arkansas's defense. Now, we saw what Arkansas was able to do to Texas. They just put them up in a box. Now, I know that was with Card, not with Thompson. I understand all that. I'm telling you, it's a great defense. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this football game. Thompson's got a little bum thumb, all right? He's going to play through it because he's a tough guy, and that's amazing. But at some point in time, that thumb is going to get hit. That hand is going to get thrown to the ground, and will he be able to continue to play with it? And I just like the fact that this team is still undefeated. They are rolling through this schedule. They've got a chance. They believe they've got a chance to win the Big 12 this year. They got a chance to have a special season. I think Mike Gundy's had 2 weeks to prepare. His offense hasn't been great. This Texas defense looked like trash last week, okay? They just don't look good right now. So I think Gundy's going to have something a little special for him. I need Spencer Sanders. 1 week, baby. 1 week. Just do something big. Make a play for me. That's all I'm asking. Come up big. Don't have to have him win the game. Plus 5.5. Give me the Oklahoma State Cowboys. That's my team. Those are my picks. I appreciate you guys so much. I will see you again Saturday morning, live. That's my live show with you guys. 9 Central, 10 Eastern, for sportsbookreview.com. My name is Christopher Giannini. Have a good night.